Hello Aquarius, my sun sign brothers and sisters. Welcome to your December 2023 Astro-Tarotscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. So, quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, but if you're only going to watch one, make sure it's your ascendant. It's going to be the most accurate for you on that day-to-day level. With that said, before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So with that said, I'm going to pop these to the side. So the first transit that we're going to be looking at for you this or should I say today is on the on December 3rd. Venus in your ninth house is going to come into a square with Pluto in your 12th house, right? So ninth house, 12th house axis is actually a very spiritual space in the chart. These are decidedly spiritual spaces within your chart. So the ninth house is all about your belief structures, belief systems. The 12th house is all about your deep spiritual and also, you know, psyche. Now in a square to Pluto in your 12th house, yes, it's very spiritual, but it's maybe even one that has a moral implication to it as well. The ninth house being your belief system, 12th house your psyche and psychic self. They both have a spiritual texture to them. And so there is a feeling about this one that it could be a powerful consideration, right? So there's a feeling that's like of driving with the brakes on here, because the ninth house is very much about the future, where you go. The 12th house is very much about your past and where you've been. Venus rules your fourth house of home, family, property, real estate, and so because it's in that ninth house, there could be considerations with this about as well. Your career is definitely implicated because of Pluto being the ruler of your 10th house of Scorpio. I think this is going to be a realization that creates change through your understanding of yourself. It might also be that you need to move around in order to, because you are an air sign, right? So you need to move. I'll tell you a funny story of years ago when I went to my first ever astrology class at the LSA, the London School of Astrology. This is many years ago now. There was like a whole classroom, right? I could have taken anywhere, and I sat right at the back, away from everybody, and I had to open the window as well. And everyone's like, "Okay, what's this about?" And I've got a lot of air in my chart, or certainly the air in my chart needs the space to breathe, right? I can't deal with too much. You know, even with a Cancer moon, right? So it's just very funny anyway. That need to move around is challenged and checked, and this is a power struggle. So you might become acutely aware of somebody who is bad mouthing you or trashing you from behind the scenes. It could be someone that's a teacher or a mentor, somebody that's been seen as those things in your life. To be honest with you, while it may feel very personal, this doesn't actually feel like it's got anything to do with you as such. Someone's got to be in their bonnet about the fact that you are not seen in the way that they see you by everybody. Fuck them. That's their problem, not yours. For this, you've got the Ten of Pentacles. You better get that money. With the Chariot card. Okay. And the Devil card. So you have to find a way to stick to your guns here, Aquarius. This is really, right, that 3rd of December, what Venus coming into, you know, that power struggle that's taking place. You are on your trajectory. And that Devil card, it's almost like somebody is trying to block your progress here or doesn't necessarily want to see you win. Let them fall on their own sword. Don't stop to worry about that, right? If the dog is barking in the corner, let the dog bark, right? Keep walking, keep doing your thing. Don't put your focus near any of this is my greatest piece of advice to you. Especially where it comes to something that could potentially, if you get into it, it could tarnish your career in some way. Don't do that. Let them make a fool or an arse of themselves. Don't you get into the mud with them, all right? The second transit that I want to look at is on the 5th of the month. Venus is going to come into the sign of Scorpio. and immediately set up a trine with Saturn in your second house of money, finances, and resources. So this is really nice, right? Venus comes into your 10th house of career. It's bringing a welcome balm here, right? Career and home have definitely been challenged over the last couple of years for you because of the eclipse cycle. Now you're free of that, right? So you start thinking about what comes next. This is bringing you some kind of recognition, potentially, some kind of help or support. Venus is an attractant, right? It's a sweetener. So it's making your career, your public house and experience that much more pleasurable, that much more enjoyable. And it's also helping you get really clear about what your legacy out in the world is at this time. So I love this. Venus's values, luxury, blessings. It even helps you shine in some way in the 10th house, which is the most visible part of you, right? It's the most sort of on display version of you. She's helping you be seen as you would like to be seen, and maybe even better than that, right? Which is why I say whatever's happening on the 3rd or around the 3rd with that power struggle, do not get into it, right? Because this is going to make it all, like, it's just going to make all of that melt away. So fuck it, let someone be an arse, right? Just let them do their thing. Now, she will oppose Jupiter as a part of this transit, because Jupiter's probably about here at this point. But that's trying to Saturn in your second house of finances. This is a steadying influence that really helps you understand how and where you can make more money from your work, but also which connections are going to help you do it, right? There's a grand Earth trine in the sky at this time between your fourth house, Taurus, your 8th house of Virgo, and your 12th house of Capricorn, right? And what I like that for, if you can marshal your inner resources, and if you like, and really take command of your inner world, it will help you convert and direct the energy that's flowing around you at this time and turn it into cash. Okay. Now for this, you've got the Emperor. You have to be in command of yourself rather than at the mercy of whatever's surrounding you. You got this with the World card, very big stuff. There's definitely something happening with a big figure in the world. Likely, my money's on the king. There's something going on with either a monarch or a head of state or a head of country of some sort. There's something big going on the wider world stage. Just because the cards that have come up throughout all of the 12 signs this month have been really interesting. Now, on a personal level, this is an up level. And with the Knight of Pentacles, this could be an invite for some kind of travel that shows up for you at this time. It could also be some kind of career advancement or invite that shows up for you that is potentially very public in some way, shape or form. Remember, we're talking about Venus in the 10th here and Saturn in the second. Whatever this opportunity is, I'm going to tell you straight up, you will be expected to work for it. If you're expecting this to just fall in your lap, or you get this offer and you can just kind of cruise it and coast it, don't fuck around with it, because I promise you, if you drop the ball on this one, you're going to kick yourself for a long time to come. That being said, it does look very, very tasty. All right, I'm totally here for this. I'm actually very excited about it, especially because Venus rules your 9th house of foreign travel, foreign distant lands, etc. And being in the 10th house, the opportunities that's coming in for you could be around travel, or it could be around some kind of international connection of some sort. Love that. All right, and then for the next transit that I want to look at, Mercury in your 12th house is going to go retrograde, and as part of that retrograde, it will come back into the sign of Sagittarius, right? So because it will go retrograde in Capricorn, it's retrograding in your 12th house. Mercury for you rules your 5th house of pleasure, joy, romance, fun, creativity, and children. Your 8th house of intimacy, sex, your deep sexual primal self, and also other people's money. Now, As a retrograde in your 12th house, you're rethinking connections from the past, right? Capricorn being that 12th house, it is the past, it's also your dreams. Your dreams could be very sexual at this time, and they might also see you starting to understand your own sexual hang-ups if you've got any. This is also reconfiguring your inner self and your inner thoughts. As it comes back into your 11th house, that's going to see you rethinking friendships, group associations, and you might even start to think you might start to think about, or you might actually hear from or reconnect with old friends, and potentially in places that you don't expect to. It will be welcome, but you have the next transit that comes up on the 27th, which we'll talk about in a moment. Now, worth mentioning, all of your year ahead goodies are up and out there on my channel for your viewing pleasure. Your Astro-Tarotscopes are $7.99 a piece this year, or you can get the bundle for $49.99. You can get those on the link in the description box below. And this year I went even further and created a short, sharp, focused energy work based mini course. You can do this in about 3, maybe 4 days, give or take. And it's really powerful, I gotta say. I am super proud of this. It's one of the best things I've ever created, in my personal humble opinion. Aside from Mindset Magic, this is, you know, it's pretty much up there, and I'm very, very proud of it. With that said, it is worth considering. There's probably around 3 or 4 of the discount codes left at this point, so you can get it for £99 instead of £111. Trust me, this is the best Christmas present you are ever going to buy yourself, I assure you. All right, with that said, check it out. You can get that on the link in the description box below. For this transit, you've got the King of Swords. So Aquarius, you show up in your own energy in some way, shape or form, with the Four of Cups. Okay. And the High Priestess. Right. So the High Priestess is something that's hidden, that is about to come to light. The Four of Cups can show up as surprises, actually. And with the King of Swords, this is something that you are probably working on for yourself, with yourself, and in your own mind. And what I like about this, there's some kind of powerful emotional connection or consideration that shows up for you here. I actually think in a lot of ways this will go very far towards you moving into some kind of sense of personal alignment, especially with your future. And I will say, pay attention to your goals at this time, your higher aspirations for the future. And with that King of Swords, that's you in essence, right? So you're having powerful realizations, big psychic revelations at this time. I love this for you. And the King of Swords also shows up as an air sign person, or somebody who is at the height of their game that is actually going to help you. And because the 11th house rules benefactors, this could be a reconnection with somebody from or in your world that maybe you haven't seen for a long time, or for some reason you had a challenge or an issue with. So all in all, I actually really like it. That High Priestess does suggest that you're potentially getting some kind of favour in the background, that someone says to you. It's kind of like, you know, when your grandparents used to kind of stuff a £20 note or a £50 note in your hand and be like, shh, don't tell no one I gave it to you. But Nan's out here in the world getting on like drug dealers. I don't know if anybody else's grandparents used to do that. They roll up some money and put it in your hand and cover it and be like, shh, don't tell anyone. Like, okay, cheers, Nan. All right, now, as if that wasn't enough, on the 27th, Mars is going to come into a conjunction with that Mercury in your 11th house. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, because then Neptune in the sign of Pisces is going to square these. This is miscommunication energy, right? Not only is Mercury retrograde at this moment in time, Neptune is now involved, which Neptune is never clear. There's always something that's, we're not seeing things exactly as we need to. Something's unclear, something's nebulous, maybe something has been withheld as well. The 11th house is friends and benefactors. The second house is money and finances. A financial matter between a friend and or a sibling could bubble over at this time. It could also be money that you desire to spend on your career in some way that comes into question. You know, this is a dicey time to spend money like this, especially if it's big money. So just be careful around emotional spending, and also be very careful with things that are promised to you at this time, especially in group situations or in online spaces. Mars conjunct Mercury is possibly explosive words. And in the square to Neptune, it could be a clash over money or even values, right? It doesn't have to just be finances. This could be you have like a really differing opinion with somebody. So for this, you have the Two of Swords. It's a difference of opinions, right? With somebody that you actually care about, the Two of Cups, and the Tower card. So 2 2s is a bond, a pact, or an accord. This is an agreement of some sort that comes to naught or goes bust, right? Be careful with this, because this could be a friendship breaker. I'm really sorry to say that. And what's worse about this, at the same time, there's a full moon in the sign of Cancer in your 6th house. This could be where you realize that somebody, it's like, you know, when they say anyone that starts being a hater, like any friend that you fall out with and then becomes a big hater and starts chatting loads of shit about you, was always a hater. It's not that they were a friend, they were just waiting for an excuse to go and badmouth you to everybody. It's possible that this could show up like that. I hope it isn't. My money is on, like I said, I feel like there's someone from your past that maybe you reconnect with, who, you know, someone, maybe one of your other friends or maybe a different benefactor really likes you. You guys get on great, and this person who maybe you've had a falling out with, maybe not a great experience with, just can't shout loud enough about how awful you are, and fuck them, like whatever, man. We're not going to be liked by everybody, and that's not our problem, it's theirs. All right, so you have a new moon in the sign of Sagittarius in that 11th house. This is new friends, right? Who, you know, don't get me wrong, I love all of my friends, and my friends really are my family, but if someone wants to go, I'm going to let them go, right? A new moon in the 11th house, new hopes, new goals, new dreams for the future, right? Because the 11th house is higher goals, aspirations, and dreams for your future. But it's also friendship, new groups, new friendships, new goals, new everything, right? I'm here for it. For this, you've got the gate 50 and responsibility. This is actually about getting clear on what your responsibility is as a friend, and where your responsibilities kind of stop when it comes to friendship, right? We're not here to save people. Yes, you can help your people. You can do what you can to show up for them or to pull up for them when they need it. But we're all adults out here. Ain't nobody looking to keep you, or to, like, I shouldn't have to. Don't get me wrong, I have a bit of a weak heart, but my friends always say that to me, like, you power too much shit, da-da-da-da-da-da. But this is really looking at where you are meant to take responsibility, and where you're meant to let other people take responsibility for themselves, all right? So your full moon in the sign of Cancer is in your 6th house. Your day-to-day habits, your work, your routines, right? This is your daily grind. This could be highlighting to you, and it's also your physical health and vitality, where you have or haven't looked after yourself. Look at that, the number 15, right? 1 and 5 gives you 6. So that message of that 6th house full moon, how you look after and maintain your health, your vitality, your physical self, is really going to be highlighted to you at this time. This is on the 26th. So, I think the 26th or the 27th, right? This is a love gate, and so what it speaks about is, yes, Aquarius loves humanity. We love to care for people and look after people, but also this is going to highlight where maybe you've put other people way more ahead of yourself than you should have, and this is you really getting a chance to readdress that balance. And it's also going to reveal to you who is for you and who isn't for you, and how your daily routines and habits are stacking up to either create L's or W's, all right? With that said, from my heart to yours, I just want to say a thank you so much for all of your support throughout 2023. It really does mean the world. Whatever you do or don't celebrate, whether it's Yule, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, whatever it is you do or don't celebrate, from my heart to yours, I truly hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the new year for lots more goodies.